What's going on, everyone, and welcome to Movie Emporium's Netflix original documentary review of Cocaine Cowboys, The Kings of Miami. This series, of course, is created and directed by Billy Corben. Now, before we begin, if you like this channel, awesome! Hit that subscribe button to join Movie Emporium, hit that notification bell at the top to find what's coming next. If you like any of these videos, awesome! Hit that like button as well as commenting below any video to watch, including this one. So Cocaine Cowboys, The Kings of Miami is a 6-part documentary that premieres on Netflix, and it tells the story of Sal Magluta and of course Willy Falcone, who in essence were considered one of the biggest drug traffickers in the history of the United States. They were transporting tons and tons of cocaine, and they basically made an exorbitant amount of money, similar to like, let's say, Scarface in a lot of aspects. They would always flaunt it on TV, and they were very good at hiding, I guess you could say. But in the process, you don't transport that much drugs without getting the notice of the government and the Department of Justice and stuff like that. So in essence, this story shows the rise of these individuals, how they gained this kind of empire-like network of individuals who transported, who sold, who kept the books, and so on and so forth. And in essence, they were tailed by the U.S. government for 20 plus years, and that's what this story does. It brings in pretty much everyone in the kitchen sink and interviews them and tells you, what, like, for instance, the prosecutors did and how a lot of times they seem to fail because some individual over here is getting bribed and was able to quit on a very serious, murder, drug trafficking court case that happened in, I think, like 99 or something like that. It also shows like the network of individuals who worked underneath them and kind of what their roles were and how they acted when the group of Sal and Willy were kind of undermining them, and how they turned and how they eventually testified in court and stuff like that. And it's a full kind of in-depth, almost like overwhelming documentary. And when I say overwhelming, I'm not being negative. It's a very overwhelming documentary that shows just the kind of complete nature of these two individuals and how they eventually fell and were put in life in prison, and except for Willy, who came out in like 2002 or something like that. So a documentary like this is very, very fascinating because it's directed by Billy Corben, who is known for doing some really important documentaries in Miami. He also did the 573 Votes that came out last year on HBO Max. But if you look at his career, his filmography, he has actually done a couple other Cocaine Cowboy documentaries, which don't deal with this particular segment of the cocaine world, but deal with like the rise in Miami of cocaine and the individualism and stuff like that. So going into I have not seen those documentaries, just to let you know, but that's kind of what I read up on it. But when I was watching this documentary, the one thing I was really fascinated and really kind of intrigued by was how much knowledge, how many interviews, how many people were willing to be involved, and how much information was being spit out, as the movie progressed, or as the documentary progressed, I could say. And that's why I say it was overwhelming, because I was just so enthralled, but I was getting so much information at once that I actually had to go back and watch a couple episodes, because I'm like, I need to connect this piece to this piece, and I need to connect that piece to this piece. And that is the nature of a good documentary. It's the fact that you're willing to go back and watch certain segments to kind of wrap yourself around, the idea of what's going on. And I just fell in love with this documentary. I think it's fantastic. I think it's enthralling and engaging. I think even at 6 episodes, which I've said before, could be too long, there's enough information there. There's enough, meat on the bone that it warrants 6 episodes. I mean, I could probably see another 3 episodes and just be enthralled about, these two characters of Sal Magluta and Willy Falcone, because, it's not a skin deep, documentary. It's a very much, you stick the knife and you see what's inside. The level of craft that's being presented is just really well represented. You can tell that the director, Billy Corben, really has a good sense of what this idea of cocaine in Miami, because I think he was born in the Miami area, and to watch him kind of take the last 2 documentaries and tell a really fascinating 6-part documentary is a really good thing. It really does this justice well, and I really respect that. And like I said, when you can keep me enthralled for 6 hours basically, and I want more, you've done your job perfectly, which is really fascinating. But I love the look and feel of this documentary. There's a lot of like, Spanish music and stuff like that, a lot of Puerto Rican, Cuban music. Pitbull does the main theme. I'm not the biggest fan of Pitbull, but it kind of fits, as him being Mr. Florida and stuff like that. And then like the cuts and how, you go maybe back to 97 or 87 or 89, you shoot back to 2006, and it's kind of all over the place. It's connected really well and connected really convincingly that you're never lost in what you're doing, because each episode has a specific point that it's trying to make that will connect to the episodes later. And it was insane. It was stuff that I never knew about. It was stuff that just kind of, it makes my mind just go because there's so much you just don't know that you learn and you kind of take in, that it makes it for a really kind of interesting concept. And it made me really kind of curious about what truly goes on in Miami that I don't know about, because it's a crazy city. You know, I've been down in Miami, South Miami before, South Beach. I've been to a lot of these places that are talked about in this documentary, and I'm like, oh my God, it was insane. This documentary is awesome. It's one of the best documentaries I've seen this year. It's a documentary that really does justice and really does a good job at trying to convey how difficult it was to take these two individuals down, and how insanely profitable drugs can be if you are willing to take the chance. It's pretty crazy to think about. It's why people like El Chapo and Pablo Escobar did what they did. You know, they were able to gain power, and they were able to gain a lot of money. And yeah, this documentary is interesting and very entertaining to watch, but it's very scary because you could be put in a situation where you're a juror, and you could be put into the point where you are being bribed, or you could be possibly killed. It's really fascinating. So I give a lot of credit to the people who worked very, very long time, very many years on this documentary, and I look forward to seeing more documentaries in the future by this crew, because I think they pretty much nailed it out of the park. So, but with that said, that is going to be my take on Cocaine Cowboys, the Kings of Miami. Thank you so much for watching. In the comments below, let me know if you know or have heard anything about Sal Magluta and Willy Falcone. Tell me if you know kind of the court cases and stuff like that. I'd be interested to know. But otherwise, if you like what you see on this channel, hit the subscribe button to join Movie Emporium. Hit that notification bell at the top to find what's coming next. If you like any of the videos, awesome. Hit that like button. And as always, we'll see you guys on the next video. Peace out.